Hello friends, how are you? I am Nupur. Thank you all for taking the time to come to my YouTube channel, Nature at the Very Core of Science. I would love to get your comments regarding today's topic. I value them as the source of connection and inspiration. I have been concerned about the Rohingya issue for a long time and continue to study about it. Few days back, I got a CD from my county library, The Venerable W. It's a documentary film made in 2017 by French filmmaker Barbet Schroeder. You would be fascinated to know the storyline of the film. It is about an extremist Buddhist monk. Yes, you heard me right. A radical nationalist monk who sowed the seeds of historic violence. The main character of the story is Ashin Wirathu, a Myanmar Buddhist monk dressed in ochre. And the name of the violence is Rohingya exodus and genocide. Now we all know that the Buddha, whose chief concern was to remove suffering from human life, never encouraged any practice that is not helpful to the attainment of a calm, peaceful mind. Kindness and non-violence are two important pillars of Buddhism. And here comes Wirathu, a Buddha worshipper leading a hateful, violent campaign of ethnic cleansing, turning the Burmese people against the Rohingya minority Muslims to create a bloodbath. Are you not believing? Thinking these are all rumors? No, not at all. I was shocked too, like you, to watch Wirathu's horrible propaganda over and over in the film. Let me give you some examples. At a packed rally, Wirathu claims to thousands of followers that the Rohingyas are a Saudi-backed Bangladeshi rebel group whose mission is to infiltrate Myanmar, destroy its traditional Buddhism, and establish an Islamic caliphate. In another sermon, Wirathu said, "You can be full of kindness, love, but you cannot sleep next to a mad dog. I call the Muslims as troublemakers because they are troublemakers. I'm proud to be a devout Buddhist. If we are weak, our country will become Islamic." Just imagine the scenario. Shocking, isn't it? In this way, he has incited the common people through continuous provocative speech against the Rohingya Muslims. No wonder international media has identified him as extremist, Islamophobic. Remember the notorious late leader of Al-Qaeda? Yes, you got it right. Osama bin Laden. You know, Wirathu has been dubbed as Buddha bin Laden after his name with Laden. There is evidence against him of distributing anti-Muslim leaflets, making countless fascist-fueled speech about the affliction of Muslims and spreading hatred against Muslims in the name of preaching. Wirathu commented in the Global Post, "Muslims are like African catfish. They breed very fast, are very ferocious, and can eat themselves. Although they are a minority, their numbers are increasing and we are only suffering under their pressure." I'm sure you want me to dig deep into the story. Let's see the timeline of Wirathu's career path. He was born on July 10, 1968 in Mandalay, Myanmar. He left school at the age of 14 and entered a local monastery as a junior monk. He first came into the limelight in 2001 when he became involved with the 969 nationalist movement in Myanmar that was associated with the Patriotic Association of Myanmar, also known as Ma-Ba-Tha, the Burmese acronym for the Organization for the Protection of Race and Religion. The movement's goals include passing laws that would restrict the marriage of Buddhist women to non-Buddhist men. By the way, 969 is a symbol of Buddha, Buddhist practice, and the virtue of the Buddhist community. On the other hand, in Islam, the number 786 is considered sacred because it is the numerical value of the Arabic letters of the opening phrases of the Quran, Bismillah al-Rahman al-Rahim. This phrase means in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. In order to turn the common people of Myanmar against the Muslims, the nationalist Buddhist monks smeared the name of their movement by wrapping 969 in terms of cosmic numerology, which is the exact opposite of 786. The brutal violence of the 969 movement multiplied under Wirathu's leadership. From that time, Wirathu began to spread hatred against Muslim minorities in predominantly Buddhist countries, urging Buddhists to boycott all Muslim shops. Anti-Muslim rallies started across the Myanmar. At those gatherings, Wirathu distributed leaflets and carried out violent campaigns to evict Muslims from Myanmar's Rakhine state. In 2003, Wirathu was jailed for 25 years by Myanmar's military junta for these crimes. But alas, after only 7 years of his imprisonment, the then President Thein Sein government released him under a general amnesty in January 2012. You must be wondering, what was the purpose of President Thein or the Burmese government behind this? Nothing but to promote the controversial plan of deporting Rohingyas to other countries, nearby countries, and simply to use Wirathu after them as a bloodthirsty hound. They knew that he would never find a better man than Wirathu for this heinous task. And yes, exactly that only happened. Wirathu started touring Myanmar and delivered at least 15 sermons every month with utmost devotion. You know what were the contents of those sermons? Nothing but spreading hatred against Muslims. As a result, in June, the first riot broke out between Buddhists and Muslims. Then in September 2012, Wirathu led a gathering of Buddhist monks in Mandalay. On October 30, same year, just the month after the rally, thousands of Rohingya were herded out of their homes like animals. In Mongdu, 90% Muslim in Rakhine state, after 2 waves of such violence, reprisals and riots in June and October 2012 intensified the centuries-old conflict in the predominantly Buddhist country. More than 100,000 Muslim Rohingya were internally displaced and hundreds were killed.